Yes.
Okay.
Gurumani.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So we'll begin again.
Sati, please say Sati as host.
Sure.
And me as co-host. Thank you.
Okay. I do it here.
Hare Krishna. We're reading
Recording in progress.
We're reading Krishna book, chapter number 56, the story of the Syamantaka jewel.
我们今天阅读的是 Krishna 快乐的泉源第56章 Syamantaka 宝石的故事。
So in the kingdom of Dwarkadam, there was another king named Satyajit.
多尔卡之地辖下有一个国王名叫 Satyajit，
And he was a great devotee of the sun god.
他是太阳神的至诚奉献者。
The sun god gave him a special jewel, which was called the Syamantaka jewel.
太阳神曾赏赐给他一颗名为 Syamantaka 的宝石，
But because of this jewel, it caused a misunderstanding between King Satyajit and the Yadu dynasty.
但是正是由于这颗宝石，竟然令 Satyajit 国王和亚度王朝之间产生了误会。
Later, then the problem was solved when Satyajit gave his daughter, who was called Satyabhama. He gave his daughter to Lord Krishna.
圆满解决之后 ，Satyajit 国王自愿把女儿 Satyabhama 嫁给 Krishna。
At that time, he also offered the Syamantaka jewel to Lord Krishna.
与此同时，他还一起把 Syamantaka 宝石送给了 Krishna。
So Satyabhama, and also Krishna got another wife called Jambavati, who was the daughter of a person called Jambavan.
之后呢，有另外一名女子叫 Jambavati， 她也嫁给了 Krishna。Jambavati 是 Jambavan 的女儿。
So because of this, Krishna got 2 new wives.
正是由于这颗 Syamantaka 宝石，所成了他的妻子。
And these 2 marriages, they took place before the birth of Pradyumna. We heard about Pradyumna in the last chapter. So before his birth, the 2 marriages took place.
那么这2段婚姻呢，是 Pradyumna 回家之前发生的事情。我们在上一次聆听到了 Pradyumna 的故事。
So we're going to hear what King Satyajit did, which offended the Yadu dynasty.
我们将要聆听 Satyajit 王到底做了些什么事情，以至于得罪了亚度王朝。
And what happened that caused him to offer the jewel and also offer his daughter to Krishna.
那后来他又如何醒悟过来，并且把女儿以及 Syamantaka 宝石一起送给了 Krishna？
So this Satyajit was a great devotee of the sun god.
Satyajit 王是太阳神的伟大奉献者。
And he had become a very good friend with the sun god.
而且他和太阳神之间建立了非常友善的关系。
And the sun god was so pleased with this Satyajit that he gave him this very incredible jewel called the Syamantaka jewel.
太阳神对他十分满意，以至于送给他一颗非凡的宝石 Syamantaka 宝石。
So when Satyajit would wear this jewel, he had the jewel made into a locket and he would wear it around his neck. And it made him appear like he was like another sun god.
当沙彻智的王获得了这颗宝石之后呢，他把宝石放在了一个小盒子里，然后挂在自己的脖颈上，他就像一位仿制的太阳神。
And when he would wear the jewel around his neck, and if he went into the city of Dwarka, then the people all thought that it was the sun god who had come into the city, that he must have come to see Lord Krishna.
当萨彻智的王把宝石系在颈上的小河里，来进入到多尔卡城来见 Krishna 的时候，城中的人还错以为是太阳神前来觐见 Krishna。
The people in Dwarka knew that Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So sometimes the demigods would come to visit him.
多尔卡城中的人们知道 Krishna 是至尊人格守神，所以会经常有半神人到来觐见他。
So while Satyajit was in the city of Dwarka, all the people in Dwarka, except for Lord Krishna, they thought that he must be the sun god.
所以当萨彻智的王造访多尔卡城的时候，除了主 Krishna 之外，所有的居民都误以为他是太阳神了。
Actually, everybody knew who Satyajit was, but they couldn't recognize him because he was wearing the Syamantaka jewel and he looked so effulgent.
实际上，每个人都认识沙彻智的王，但是正是由于他佩戴的这颗Syamantaka宝石，使得他发出炫目的光灿，人们无法辨认出他到底是谁了。
So sometime it happened that some of the important people in Dwarka would come to Lord Krishna and tell him, the sun god has come to see Krishna. They tell Krishna, the sun god has come to see you.
那么有一些社会上的重要人士，就这个时候就连忙跑来禀告 Krishna， 太阳神前来觐见您了。
When they came to see Krishna, Krishna was actually playing a game of chess.
当他们来看见 Krishna 的时候 ，Krishna 正在下棋。
But this one man is an important person in Dwarka. He said to Lord Krishna, he said to Lord Krishna that I know you are Lord Narayan, you're the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
其中的一位社会贤达就开口说道：“我知道您是至尊性格守神主 Narayana。”
And I know that in your form as Lord Narayan, you have 4 hands, and you carry the conch shell, the disc, the club, and the lotus flower.
在您的Narayan 的这个形象当中，您的4臂分别拿着不同的象征：海螺、神蝶、神锤和莲花。
You're actually the owner of everything.
您实际上是万事万物的拥有者。
And although you are Lord Narayan, you descended in Vrindavan just to become the child of Yashoda Mata.
虽然您是主 Narayan 本人，但是您仍然降临到文达文，成为了 Yashoda 的儿子。
And Yashoda would sometimes tie you up with the ropes. Therefore you got the name Damodar.
Yashoda 有的时候会用绳索捆绑您，您因而得到了达摩达尔之赞誉。
So Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, and this was known by the citizens in Dwarka.
Krishna 就是至尊性格守神 Narayana，多尔卡的居民们都接受了这一事实。
And Shankaracharya, who preached about the Mayavadi philosophy, he also accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
传播玛雅瓦的假象宗哲学的领袖 Shankaracharya 也接受 Krishna 是至尊性格神手这一事实。
Shankaracharya accepted the Lord as impersonal, but he did not he did not deny that the Lord has a personal form.
尚克柴尔商杰罗接受了主的非人格特征，但是他也没有否认主的人格形象。
Everything which has a form in the material world there must be creation, there must be maintenance, and there will be also destruction.
在这个物质世界中，但凡有形之物，它必定有一个创造、维系以及毁灭的过程。
But when personality of Godhead, Lord Narayan comes, he does not have a material form, so it's not subject to these things.
但是当至尊性格神手 Narayan 降临之际，他并没有一个物质形象，所以他并不受到创造、维系和毁灭的影响。
So Shankaracharya, he wanted to convince foolish, less intelligent people that Krishna is not an ordinary human being.
尚克柴尔想要说服那些愚蠢的、智慧稍逊的人们，告诉他们 Krishna 是至尊的守神。
So he taught that God is also impersonal.
他也教导传教说神也是非人格的。
This means he's not a person of the material world.
但他的意思是说 Krishna 他并不属于物质世界的人。
He's a transcendental person without a material body.
他是一个超然的人物，他没有一个物质的躯体。
So the citizens in Dwarka, they would address Krishna sometimes as Damodar and sometimes as Govinda.
杜尔卡的居民有的时候称 Krishna 为 Damodar， 也称他为 Govinda。
The name Govinda means that Krishna is very dear to the cows and the calves.
Govinda 的意思是 Krishna 母牛 ，Krishna 对母牛和牛犊而言是非常亲切的。
And sometimes they would also address Krishna as Yadunandana, because he was born of the son of Vasudeva in the Yadu dynasty.
杜尔卡的居民也称他为亚杜南的呢，因为他诞生在亚杜王朝杜尔卡一地。
And the people in Dwarka, they're also in the Yadu dynasty, so they like to have that intimate connection with Krishna.
因为杜尔卡的居民们，他们也是隶属于亚杜王朝，所以他们愿意跟 Krishna 以这种称呼来表示他们的感情。
And the people of Dwarka, when they address Krishna, they would address him as the supreme master of the whole universe.
当他们称呼 Krishna 的时候，他们也称呼 Krishna 为全宇宙的至尊主。
So they would address Krishna in many wonderful ways, and they were very proud to be citizens in Dwarka and be able to see Krishna every day.
他们对 Krishna 有多种称呼，他们也以每天能见到 Krishna 为荣，也因为居住在杜尔卡感到非常高兴。
So when Satyajit was visiting Dwarka, the people of Dwarka were feeling proud to think that the demigods were coming to see Lord Krishna.
当 Satyajit 王到访杜尔卡城时，城里的居民感到非常骄傲，因为有半神人前来见 Krishna。
And Krishna was living in Dwarka just like an ordinary human being.
Krishna 居住在杜尔卡城，就好像一个普通人那样。
So they told Krishna that the sun god, with his effulgence, was coming to see him.
他们禀报 Krishna 说，太阳神以光灿的躯体来见他了。
At the same time, the people in Dwarka,
陈一老，刚才我忘了听课了，光看那些没用的。
Sati, 你需要 mute, 把他们 mute. So the people in Dwarka, they didn't think it was very wonderful that the sun god was coming to Dwarka.
多尔卡的居民们觉得太阳神半神来见 Krishna， 这也没有什么稀奇古怪的。
Because the people in Dwarka knew that there's people all over the universe looking to find Krishna, the personality of Godhead.
因为多尔卡的居民们知道，全宇宙的人都在探寻至尊性格神手。
Some people knew that Krishna had appeared in the Yadu dynasty and was living in Dwarka as one of the family members.
有的人知道，就是 Krishna 他降临亚度王朝，他就居住在多尔卡。
So they would often, different people from all over the creation would come to want to see Krishna.
所以呢，会有全宇宙各个地方的人，前来多尔卡来见 Krishna。
So the citizens were very happy to see so many important people come to see Krishna.
因此，多尔卡的居民们为有这么多的人，大人物来见 Krishna 而感到非常的兴奋。
So when Krishna heard them say, when he heard the people say that the sun god had come to see him, Krishna just smiled.
当 Krishna 听说，有太阳神来见他，他只是面露微笑而已。
Krishna was happy with the people of Dwarka, but he told them that that person who they thought was the sun god it wasn't the sun god, it was actually King Satyajit.
Krishna 为多尔卡的居民感到高兴，但是他告诉他们，那个人实际上并不是太阳神，他实际上是 Satyajit 王。
Satyajit's just come to visit the city in Dwarka to show off his opulence and by wearing the valuable jewel which he got from the sun god.
而 Satyajit 王到访多尔卡的目的呢，实际上是来炫耀他从太阳神那里得到的珍贵宝石。
And even though Satyajit came to Dwarka, he didn't come to see Krishna. He was so proud of his Syamantaka jewel.
实际上 Satyajit 王来多尔卡目的也不是为见 Krishna， 因为他为自己的 Syamantaka 宝石感到非常的陶醉。
So Satyajit put the jewel in a temple and he arranged for brahmanas to do the worship of the jewel.
Satyajit 王便把宝石放在由婆罗门崇拜的庙中来供奉。
We see sometimes like this, less intelligent people, stupid people, they will worship something material.
所以我们会看到这种现象，那些愚蠢的、智慧稍逊的人们会崇拜物质事物。
In the Bhagavad Gita, it describes people who don't have a good brain, that they will worship things to get material results.
国家梵歌有云：那些智慧不足的人们，他们会为了物质的结果来崇拜。
Just like sometimes they will worship the demigods to get material results.
正如同他们有的时候会为了物质的好处来崇拜半神人。
So to be materialist means that people are concerned with sense gratification.
物质主义者是指那些只关心感官享乐的人们。
Later, Krishna will ask for the king to give the Syamantaka jewel, but the king didn't want to give it.
后来 Krishna 向 Satyajit 国王索要这颗宝石，但是Satyajit 王拒绝了，没有把他的宝石献出来。
Instead, Satyajit put the jewel on the throne, and he made his temple for the jewel, and he had the Brahmins worship it every day.
Satyajit 王反而把宝石呢放在一个宝座上，并且置于庙中，让婆罗门来崇拜。
It was a very special jewel. Every day it was producing gold.
这是一个非常特殊的宝石，因为它每天都会制造出大量的黄金。
Yeah, a big quantity. It would produce something like 170 pounds of gold every day. 170 pounds. Pounds is a measure of weight. So it's about maybe about 2 pounds, 1 kilo. So about 85 kilos of gold every day.
这个制造出的黄金呢，重达170磅，就相当于85公斤的黄金。
And not only did it produce gold every day, but we also know from the Vedas that wherever in the world the jewel was worshipped, there will be no famine.
这颗宝石不仅每天制造出大量黄金，而且呢，就无论这颗宝石在哪里受到崇拜，那里便没有饥荒。
And wherever the jewel was kept and it was worshipped properly, then there would be nothing inauspicious could happen.
而且无论呢这颗宝石在哪里被妥善的保管，那里便没有不吉利的事物。
There would be no epidemics, no diseases or epidemics like what we have now.
没有瘟疫，没有疾病，就没有就像我们现在的这样的疫情。
So Lord Krishna wants to teach everyone that the best, whatever is the best, it should be offered to the king or to the ruler of the country.
主 Krishna 希望教导世人要把最好的东西献给一国之君。
So King Ugrasena was the ruler, and he was the head of many different other kingdoms.
而乌瓜森的王呢，是许许多多王朝的众王朝之主。
He was like the emperor, and he was also the grandfather of Krishna.
乌瓜森的王就好像是皇帝的位置，而且他还是 Krishna 的外祖父。
So Krishna asked Satyajit, he asked him if he could give the Syamantaka jewel to King Ugrasena.
Krishna 便要求 Satyajit，把 Syamantaka 宝石呢献给他。
Krishna told him, whatever is the best things in the world, they should be given to the king.
Krishna 告诉他呢，世界上最好的事物呢，都应该上交给一国之君。
But because Satyajit had been worshipping the demigods, he'd become very materially attached.
但是因为 Satyajit 王崇拜半神的缘故，他已经变得非常的在物质上有严重的依附之心。
So instead of doing what Krishna said, he thought better to just worship the jewel and get the gold every day.
所以他不但没有接纳 Krishna 的请求，而且呢，还每天为了得到大量的黄金，崇拜这颗宝石。
Yeah, when materialistic people can get a lot of gold, then they don't have an interest in Krishna consciousness.
当 当物质主义者对黄金甚感兴趣的时候，他们对 Krishna 之觉也就索然寡味了。
So this pastime which we're hearing now about the Syamantaka jewel, this is to teach us that material, to get a lot of money is not good for our Krishna consciousness.
所以这段 Syamantaka 宝石的故事呢，是为了警醒我们，获取大量钱财感兴趣，这对于我们的 Krishna 之觉是不利的。
And sometimes, to show special favor to people, Krishna will take away all their wealth.
有的时候 ，Krishna 为了要向他的奉献者表示特别的宠幸，甚至会从一个人的身上拿去大量物质财富。
And when one loses all his wealth, then it's easy for him to surrender to Krishna and become a nice devotee.
当一个人变得身无分文的时候，他臣服 Krishna， 成为一个优秀的奉献者，就容易得多了。
But the Satyajit, he didn't want to follow Krishna's order. He didn't want to give the jewel.
但是 Satyajit 王不想听从 Krishna 的命令，把宝石献给 Krishna。
So after this, then Satyajit had a younger brother, and the younger brother wanted to show off the opulence of their family.
Satyajit 有一个弟弟，他的弟弟呢想要炫耀家庭的富裕。
So he got the jewel and he put it on his neck, and he went on his horse and he went riding into the forest to make a show of his opulence.
Satyajit 的弟弟就取去宝石挂在镜像挂在脖子上，他骑着马在林中溜达，夸耀他物质富裕。
So his brother, Satyajit's brother, his name was Prasena.
Satyajit 的弟弟名字叫 Prasena。
And he was in the forest, he was riding around on his horse, but while he was in the forest, he got attacked by a lion, and the lion attacked him and killed him.
当他骑着马在林中漫步的时候，一头狮子突然袭击了他，把他连同马匹当场咬死。
It killed him and killed his horse also, and it took away the jewel which he was wearing.
狮子咬死了 Satyajit 的弟弟，也咬死了那匹马，然后他口中含了宝石，回到山洞。
So there was in that area, in the forest, there was a gorilla king named Jambavan, and he got news what had happened.
在那个森林当中呢，有一个大猩猩的国王叫张巴万，他得知了这个消息。
And so Jambavan, he went to that place and he found that lion in the cave, and he killed the lion and took away the jewel.
张巴万便寻找到这个地方，他杀死了狮子，抢去了那个宝石。
Yeah, Jambavan was a very powerful, very strong person, and he could kill the lion with his bare hands.
张巴万他可是一个非常力大无穷的一个猩猩，他赤手空拳就能杀死这头狮子。
So Jambavan actually had been a great devotee since the time of Lord Ramachandra.
但实际上呢，自从主 Ramachandra 那时候开始，张巴万就是挺是伟大的奉献者了。
Yeah, he had come, he was one of the friends of Hanuman, and one of the bears who came to help with Lord Rama to defeat Ravan and conquer the kingdom of Lanka.
他是哈努曼的朋友，他就是一个熊的形象，他参加了主 Ramachandra 的消时光，然后帮助 Ramachandra 征服了兰卡城。
So when he saw the jewel, Jambavan, he wasn't very much worried about the jewel. Just some jewel did not mean much to him. He just gave it to his young son to play with, like a toy.
张巴万夺去了这颗宝石之后呢，并没有十分珍惜，他只是给了小儿子当做玩具。
But in the city, when Satyajit's younger brother did not come back from the forest with the jewel, then Satyajit was very upset.
Satyajit 在城中久候不见弟弟，把宝石从林中带回来，他十分沮丧。
He didn't know that his brother had been killed by a lion and the lion had been killed by Jambavan.
他不知道弟弟已经被狮子所杀，而狮子又被张巴万所杀。
And he thought Krishna must have wanted the jewel, so Krishna must have done something. Maybe Krishna took the jewel away from Prasena and killed Prasena by force to get the jewel.
他猜想，必定是 Krishna 想得到这颗宝石，便杀了 Prasena， 抢去了宝石。
Because Krishna had asked Satyajit to give the jewel, but Satyajit didn't give it. So when the jewel went missing, he didn't know. He thought Krishna must have taken it.
因为之前 Krishna 曾经向他索要这颗宝石，但是被拒绝了，所以现在宝石失去了，所以他猜想一定是 Krishna 拿走了宝石。
And so it became a rumor, and Satyajit was telling everybody in Dwarka like this, that Krishna killed my brother, he wanted the jewel, he must have killed my brother and taken the jewel.
所以 Satyajit 呢，便把这个谣言散布了整个多尔卡，就是 Krishna 呢，他杀了我的弟弟，他只是为了夺取宝石，就把我弟弟杀了。
So it was not true. Krishna had not killed Prasena, he hadn't taken the jewel, but this rumor went everywhere.
这但不是真的 ，Krishna 并没有杀死他的弟弟，拿走宝石。
So Krishna did not like that they were saying these bad things, untrue things about him.
Krishna 不喜欢这种诽谤，这种不真实的谣言。
So he decided he would go to the forest and find the jewel.
他决定去森林当中去寻回宝石。
So he took some of the important people of Dwarka with him, and he went to look for this brother of Satyajit.
Krishna 便带了多尔卡城的一些重要居民去寻找 Satyajit 的弟弟 Prasena。
Then they found his dead body. They found his dead body and they could see that he'd been killed by a lion.
他们找到了这个尸体，被狮子所杀死的这个尸体。
Then Krishna looked more, and then he found the lion which had been killed by Jambavan.
Krishna 又继续寻找，找到了被张巴万杀死的狮子。
And that lion was killed just simply by the bare hands of Jambavan, without any weapon.
这头狮子是张巴万徒手，没有拿任何武器就杀死了。
Then Krishna found that there was this big tunnel in the forest, and that tunnel was to go into there was a path into excuse me. There was a big path, a tunnel which would lead to the home of Jambavan.
他们又发现了有一条长长的隧道，通往张巴万的房子。
So Krishna knew that people who were with him, the people from Dwarka, they would be afraid to go into the tunnel.
Krishna 知道多尔卡的居民一定害怕进入隧道。
So Krishna told them to wait outside for him, and he went into the tunnel alone.
Krishna 便让他们在外守候，自己则单独进入隧道。
So when Krishna got through the tunnel, then he found there was the son of Jambavan, was playing with the Syamantaka jewel, just like it was a toy.
当 Krishna 进入隧道之后呢，便发现了张巴万的儿子，他把那个 Syamantaka 宝石当成玩具玩耍。
So Krishna came and stood in front of the child, and he wants to take the jewel from the child.
Krishna 就来到孩子的前面，想要把这个宝石从孩子这里拿走。
But there was a nurse who was taking care of the little boy, and when she saw Krishna standing there, then she became afraid.
有一名保姆是负责照顾孩子的，她看见 Krishna 就感到非常恐惧、害怕。
And she didn't know what he wanted, and so she cried out in fear. She cried out, she screamed.
她并不知道 Krishna 想做什么，所以便在恐惧之中大声尖叫起来。
So Jambavan, he's a big monkey, a big gorilla, and he heard the nurse cry, and he appeared there. He was very angry.
张巴万他是一头大猩猩，这个张巴万这头大猩猩听到保姆的尖叫，便义愤填膺地来到了现场。
Now Jambavan is actually a devotee. He's a good devotee. He fought for Lord Rama, so he's a good devotee. But because he was angry, he could not recognize Lord Krishna.
张巴万实际上他是主的伟大奉献者，但是因为他当时被愤怒冲昏了头脑，所以认不出 Krishna。
He thought it must be some ordinary person, some intruder who's come into his kingdom, into his own place through the tunnel.
他以为一定是一个普通的外来人闯入他的地道。
Because Jambavan had been so angry, he couldn't recognize Krishna.
张巴万因为他太愤怒了，所以他认不出 Krishna。
In the Bhagavad Gita, we see Krishna telling Arjuna that he should get free from anger and lust and greed.
Krishna 在国家梵歌当中告诫 Arjuna 要去除愤怒、贪婪、色欲。
We cannot come to the spiritual platform until we get free of these things.
除非一个人摆脱了这三件事，否则无法上升到灵性层面。
So Jambavan could not recognize Lord Krishna, and he challenged Krishna to a fight.
这张巴万他认不出 Krishna， 所以便向 Krishna 发出挑战。
And so the two of them began to fight, just like they were vultures, just like they were these big birds, vultures. They fight with each other.
这二人呢，他们彼此之间就像两头秃鹰一样，开始打斗了起来。
Yeah, when there's a dead body, then these jackals, they'll come and they'll fight with each other to eat the dead body.
当这个胡狼或者秃鹫看见可吃的尸体，便会奋不顾身地为猎物而战。
So Krishna and Jambavan began to fight, and first of all, they fought with weapons, and when the weapons were all broken, then they fought with stones.
Krishna 与张巴万便开始打斗起来。一开始他们用武器，当武器被毁坏之后，他们便互击石块。
And when the stones were all finished, then they began to fight with big trees.
当石块也用光之后，他们便开始用大树相搏。
And then they fought hand to hand.
最后，他们徒手而战。
And they were hitting each other with their fists.
他们彼此就用拳头击打对方。
And each of their blows, when they used their fists, their blows were like striking of thunderbolts.
他们的拳风就好像霹雳。
Both of them, both Jambavan and Krishna, were thinking they're going to win, going to be the victor. But they kept fighting, and the fight went on for 28 days. And they fought in the daytime, they fought at night. They didn't stop. They just kept fighting for 28 days and nights continually.
Krishna 和张巴万，他们都认为自己一定会胜利，所以他们的战斗持续了日日夜夜，不停的连续他们搏斗了整整28天。
Jambavan was the strongest person of that time.
张巴万在当时是最强壮的生物。
But when he was fighting with Krishna, he found gradually that all of his different limbs became slackened and his strength practically was all gone.
但是当他和 Krishna 不断的搏斗着的时候，他发现自己的身体的四肢也逐渐变得松弛迟缓起来，力量也消失得无影无踪。
Krishna was punching him, so he was feeling very tired. He was sweating all over his body.
在 Krishna 的重拳之下，他感到疲累不堪，遍体都是汗。
So Jambavan was astonished. He thought, who is this person who is fighting so hard with me?
张巴万就感到惊讶不已，这个可和我打斗的人，他到底是谁？
Usually Jambavan was aware, he's thinking he's the strongest person. He didn't think there was anybody who could equal him.
张巴万自信自己是当时最强壮的生物体，他有过人的力量。
But when he started to feel tired after Krishna hitting him, then he could understand that this Krishna must be the Supreme Lord.
但是他被 Krishna 击打到疲乏无力之后，他明白到这个人不是别人，正是自己崇拜的主。
So this is very important and very significant for devotees.
这件事情对奉献者是十分重要的。
In the beginning, Jambavan could not understand Krishna because he was so attached.
开始时，张巴万受到物质的依附，所以他辨认不出 Krishna。
He was very attached to his son, and he was attached to that jewel. He didn't want to give it to Krishna.
他依附自己的儿子和那颗珍贵的Syamantaka宝石，不想给 Krishna。
And when Krishna had come there, he had become angry, thinking Krishna had come to take away the jewel.
当 Krishna 出现之后，他便感到愤怒，以为他是来抢走宝石的。
So even though somebody maybe have a very strong body, it doesn't help you to understand Krishna.
所以，即便一个人有着强壮的身体，也不能帮助他理解 Krishna。
So Krishna wanted to have a fight with this devotee. Krishna was enjoying the fight.
Krishna 他本来就想要和奉献者一战，因为他喜欢作战。
Krishna likes all these different sports, and he enjoys these different activities with his devotees.
Krishna 喜欢各种各样的娱乐，喜欢跟和他的奉献者之间的有一个游戏。
He enjoys being just like a human being. Human beings do these things, so Krishna also likes to do them.
他非常乐在其中，津津乐道，就像普通的人类也有这种倾向 ，Krishna 也是这样。
Sometimes he likes to fight to show his strength.
有时候他 他想要一战，只是为了炫耀他自己的体力。
And when he wants to fight, he will pick one of his devotees who can give him a good fight.
当他想要作战的时候，他便挑选他的一个奉献者，好跟他好好的打一仗。
So Krishna enjoyed this fight with Jambavan.
所以 Krishna 实际上是非常享受跟张不万之间的战斗。
Jambavan's a devotee, but he didn't know that he was fighting Krishna.
张不万是一名奉献者，但他并不知道是在跟 Krishna 作战。
He didn't understand that actually he was giving service to Krishna. By using his strength and fighting Krishna, he was doing service for Krishna.
他并不知道，实际上他在运用他的力量跟 Krishna 作战的时候，实际上是以这种方式在服务。
But when Krishna was pleased by the fighting, then Jambavan understood that this opponent must be the Supreme Lord.
当 Krishna 为这个战斗而感到满足之后呢，张巴万就明白到、觉悟到，这个人一定就是至尊主本人了。
So Krishna can only be understood by service.
只有透过奉献服务，才能明白 Krishna。
So Krishna is sometimes satisfied by when the devotee fights, just like Jambavan fought him. He was able to satisfy Krishna.
Krishna 呢，只是因为他的奉献者张巴万和他之间的战斗，他就感到心满意足。
So then Jambavan said to Krishna, he said, "Oh, now I understand who you are. You are the Supreme Lord, Lord Vishnu."
张巴万便对主说道：“主啊，我现在知道您是谁了，您就是至尊人格守神 Vishnu。
You are the source of all strength and wealth and beauty and fame and wisdom and renunciation.
你是万物的力量、财富、名誉、美丽、智慧与气绝之源。
These are the 6 opulences of Bhagavan.
这是八个万的6项富裕。
And so what Jambavan is saying, this is also said in the Vedanta Sutra.
张巴万的这番话呢，《维丹特苏扯终极伟达经》也证实了。
Oh yeah, in the Vedanta Sutra it says the Supreme Lord is the source of everything.
伟达终极伟达经证实，至尊主是万物之源。
And Jambavan understood that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord, Vishnu.
而张巴万认出主 Krishna 是至尊人格守神 Vishnu。
So Jambavan says to Krishna, "You are the creator of the creators of the universal affairs."
所以张巴万对 Krishna 说：“您是宇宙事物创造者的创造者。”
This is a very important instruction for ordinary people.
这句话对常人来说是非常有启发性的。
Because ordinary people will always be amazed when they see the activities of somebody with a very special, very brilliant brain.
因为普通常人常常为有非凡头脑的人物的活动而感到诧异。
Just like ordinary men, they're very impressed when they see the inventions of a great scientist.
正如同普通人看见科学家的发明而感到惊奇。
But Jambavan says that a scientist may be a creator of many wonderful things, but Krishna is the creator of the scientist.
但张巴万的话证实，虽然科学家能创造出很多奇妙事物，但 Krishna 却是科学家的创造者。
He is the creator of not only one scientist, but many, many millions of scientists all over the universe.
Krishna 不单是一位科学家，而且是整个宇宙当中百万、成千上万的无数的科学家的创造者。
And not only is Krishna the creator of the creators, but he's also the creator of the material elements.
Krishna 不单单是创造者的创造者，还是那些物质元素的创造者。
Yeah, these so-called scientists, they need the material elements to manipulate things, to create anything. And this is all provided by Krishna.
科学家们他们需要利用物质元素来操纵这些物质定律，做出奇妙的事物。
So the scientists, they use the physical elements and they use the laws of nature to do their different inventions.
科学家们他们利用了物质元素，也利用了物质自然定律来做出他们的发明创造。
But all these elements and the different laws, they're all the creations of Krishna.
但这些定律和元素都是为 Krishna 所创造的。
This is actually scientific understanding.
这就是真正的科学理解。
So people who are not very intelligent, they do not try to understand who created the brain of the scientist.
智慧稍逊的人不会尝试认识到底是谁创造了科学家的头脑。
They're satisfied just to see the creation or inventions of a scientist.
他们只为看见科学家的奇妙发明或创造便感到满意。
So Jambavan is continuing offering prayers to Krishna. He says to Krishna, the time factor is also your representative.
张伯伯又继续献上祷文，说道：“您是时间因素的创造者。”
And it's a time factor which combines all the physical elements.
而正是由于时间元素，它把所有的物质元素组合在一起。
And Jambavan says to Krishna, you are the supreme time factor.
张伯伯对 Krishna 说：“您是至高无上的时间因素。”
And due to this time factor, all of the creation takes place and is maintained and ultimately annihilated.
这是由于这个至高无上的时间因素，所有的创造发生维系，最后得以毁灭。
And then beyond the physical elements and the time factor, the persons who manipulate beyond the physical elements and the time factor, there are the persons who manipulate the ingredients and advantages of creation. And these people are all parts and parcels of you.
除了物质元素以及时间因素外，那些操纵、创造成分与利益的人，也是您的所属部分。
So the living entity, he's not independent in his work of creation.
因此，生物并不是独立的创造者。
He depends on the creation of the initial creation done by Krishna.
他们依赖于 Krishna 所做出的最初的创造。
So if we study everything carefully, we can see Krishna as the supreme controller of everything.
如果我们仔细研究分析一切的话，我们就会发现 Krishna 是至尊的主宰。
So Jambavan says to Krishna, I can understand you are the same supreme personality of Godhead.
张伯伯继续对 Krishna 说：“我能够明白，您就是那位同一位至尊人格守神。”
And Jambavan said, I worship the Supreme Lord as Lord Ramachandra.
张伯伯说：“我把至尊主作为我把至尊以 Ramachandra 的形象来崇拜至尊主。”
And Lord Ramachandra wanted to build a bridge over the ocean.
主张嘛昌者希望建一座跨海的桥梁。
And Jambavan said, I saw how the ocean became agitated simply by the glance of Lord Ramachandra. When he glanced over it, the whole ocean became agitated.
而我亲眼看见海洋如何为您的一瞥而变得激动不安。
And when the Lord glanced over it, then all the living entities in the ocean, all the big creatures like the whales and the alligators and the timingala fish, they all became disturbed.
当至尊主瞥了一眼海洋，那么大海当中的生物，像鲸鱼、鳄鱼、提名基拉鱼，都感到困惑。
This timingala fish can swallow a whale with one gulp.
海洋中的提名基拉鱼能够一口就吞下鲸鱼。
And so the ocean was forced to make way to allow Lord Ramachandra to cross to the island of Lanka.
海洋就被迫给主Ramachandra让路，让他跨越海洋去兰卡。
And Lord Ramachandra constructed a bridge over the ocean. And it's known to everyone. Lord Ramachandra did this.
众所周知，主Ramachandra他建了一座跨海的大桥。
But after the construction of the bridge, then the fire was set all over the kingdom of Ravan.
大桥建成后 ，Ravan 的王国全国失火。
So during the fight with Ravan, all the different limbs of the body, of his body was cut by the arrows.
在 Ramachandra 与 Ravan 的战役当中 ，Ravan 的四肢都被主的利剑射成碎片。
And this Ravan had 10 heads, and his heads fell off onto the ground.
Ravan 的10个头颅都被射到了地上。
And so Jambavan said, now I understand, you are none other than my Lord Ramachandra.
张万万说：“现在我知道您就是我的主 Ramachandra。”
Nobody else has such strength. No one else could defeat me the way you did.
没有人能有此神力，没有人能这样打败我。
So we'll stop there today. We'll ask, is there any questions?
好，那我们讲课就到这里。接下来，请问有问题吗？
Shai has a question.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, Dhanavad Pranam, please accept my humble obeisances, all glory to Srila Prabhupada. Can you hear me, Guru Maharaj?
Yes, can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Because when I choose the Thai translate, your voice is so low, Guru Maharaj.
No, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Okay, I hear you now. My question is, I heard from Bajavasi about Radharani scare Narasimhadev, and he said about who is need to serve Radharani should not puja Narasimhadev. Can you explain about this topic, Guru Maharaj?
What is this? I don't... Say that again. Radharani, Nrsingadev, what?
Okay. I heard from Rajavasi in Vrindavan. He said about Radharani scare Narasimhadev.
Radharani what?
Afraid.
Afraid of Nrsingadev?
Yes. And he said, he told more about who is need to serve Radharani should not puja Narasimhadev. So I don't understand about this, Guru Maharaj.
I never heard anything about this before.
Oh, because I know about Krishna is same Narasimhadev, then that's why I don't know. He said about Radharani scared about Narasimhadev.
Who said?
Brajavasi in Vrindavan, Guru Maharaj.
Who's Bhagavati?
Brajavasi, Guru Maharaj.
Brajavati.
Brajavasi.
Oh, Brajbasi. Brajbasi.
Yes. Yes.
They said Radharani is afraid of Nrsingadev.
Yes.
I don't know. I never heard.
I never heard before, but then that's why I wondering. It's okay, Guru Maharaj.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Rajendra Prabhu has a question. Rajendra Prabhu.
Sorry again.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
OK， 我的问题是 ，Good morning， 我的
Yes.
问题是，张八万他不认识自己的主，只能通过打斗才能知道对方是自己的主。你先翻译这个吧。
My question is that Jambavan didn't recognize the Lord. Through fighting, he can recognize the Lord.
Yeah.
那我们该怎么认识主呢？如果主 Krishna 站在我们面前，我们肯定是一个堕落灵魂，连张八万都那样。我们如果主站在我们面前，我们用什么样的视域才能知道站在我们面前的是至尊人格守人？
So how can we recognize the Lord if the Lord stand in front of us? In which vision can we recognize the Lord in front of us?
Well, Jambavan recognized the Lord by his service. When Krishna was pleased by his service was fighting with Krishna. So when we please Krishna by service, we can recognize him.
张伯万是通过服务认出了主，因为主是被张伯万的服务感到满意。张伯万对主的服务是战斗，所以只有透过服务才能够认识主。
Krishna is only known by devotional service.
只有透过奉献服务，才可以了解至尊主 Krishna。
So we have to serve Krishna nicely. We have to serve. One way we can serve him is by chanting his holy name, by chanting his glories.
我们是通过好好的服务，才能够认识他。一个服务方式是通过唱诵圣名，唱诵他的荣耀。
We offer our prayers to him. We serve his lotus feet.
我们向他祈祷，服他的莲花足。
And we say Hanuman. Hanuman's also the servant of Lord Ramachandra. All those monkeys like Jambavan and Hanuman, they were all servants of Lord Ramachandra.
哈努曼也是主的仆人，所有那些仆人，所有那些猴子，还有张伯万，他们都服务了。
Of course, it was an unusual service, but Jambavan, he was able to satisfy Lord Krishna by fighting.
当然这个服务呢是非同寻常的服务，但是主为他的服务感到满意。张伯万跟他打了一仗。
And now we just heard he offered nice prayers to the Lord.
然后刚才我们听到他向主献上了优美的祈祷。
And he's going to give his daughter also to the Lord.
他还会把自己的女儿献给主。
So, the daughter of Jambavan is called Jambavati, and she became one of Krishna's wives.
张伯万的女儿叫张巴巴提，她将会成为 Krishna 的一位妻子。
So Krishna can only be known by devotional service, no other way.
Krishna 只能透过奉献服务，不能通过任何其他的方式被了解。
The Gyanis, they have to take birth many, many, many times to get knowledge, to surrender to Krishna.
那些 Gyani 们、思辨家们，他们必须得透过许许多多的知识，最终才能臣服。
But the devotees know him simply through loving service.
奉献者们仅仅是通过满怀爱意的服务就能够了解他了。
It was also mentioned you may have a strong body. It doesn't mean you'll be able to understand Krishna any better. Just because your body is very strong, that's not the qualification.
在这个课中也讲到了，力量，躯体的力量，并不是明白 Krishna 的资格，并不意味着一个人都能更好的理解主。
There has to be the mood. You want to give service to Krishna.
还必须有恰当的服务心态。
So Jambavan, he must have had really a strong mood to give service. He could fight with Krishna for 28 days without stopping. That's incredible.
张伯万呢，他一定是有一个非常强烈的心态。他和 Krishna 连续打斗了28天不停，所以这是非常不可思议的。
They say this tunnel to Jambavan's kingdom is there. They have it in Gujarat, in India. They have that place. People go and visit there.
据说就是在印度的古吉拉特 Gujarat 省，现在这条隧道还在那里。
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah. Here's a question from Vedavati. Vedavati, Hare Krishna, 顶拜 Gurudev， 请问在瑜伽馆怎样恰当的去介绍 Krishna？ 感恩。My question is that, Hare Krishna, Gurudev, how can we properly introduce the Krishna in yoga studio?
Well, usually we will introduce Krishna by giving book to someone. Let people give a book out to the people. Let them take the book and read it, and find out if they are interested when they read the book.
通常我们是把书给人们读，然后看他们读完书之后呢，是不是感兴趣。
Other people, they may like to hear the chanting of the Maha Mantra.
还有一些人是对聆听唱诵 Hare Krishna 的 Maha Mantra 感兴趣。
So sometimes, when you're doing yoga exercises, you play the music, the yoga music, the chanting of Hare Krishna.
通常呢，可以在瑜伽馆就一边做着瑜伽，一边播放 Hare Krishna 的音乐。
And in this way, people gradually get some taste for hearing the holy name.
以这种方式，人们对于聆听圣名逐渐培养起品味。
Yes. So then we also sometimes give prasadam. People doing yoga, you can encourage them that, yoga food is very good. Teach them how to do yoga, eat yoga food. What is yoga cooking? Cooking yoga food, nice vegetarian foodstuffs offered to Krishna.
其次呢，有的人对于 prasadam 感兴趣，我们可以介绍这些瑜伽食品，也可以教人们怎么去烹饪这种素食的瑜伽食品。
Get them to buy the biscuits which the devotees make.
就 tell them that this is offered to Krishna.
Well, you don't have to tell them that.
OK， 然后鼓励学员去买那个供奉过的这些甜点。
But you can tell them this is yoga food.
可以给他们介绍说这是瑜伽食品。
Recommended for yoga. Tell them that there's no karma.
告诉他们就这是无业报食物。
So it's very good for health.
这对健康大有好处。
Okay. Now there's another question by Yuvati Sachi. Yuvati Sachi?
Yes, Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. If Yadavas knew that Krishna, the Supreme Lord, how can they thought that he stole the Syamantaka and killed Prasena?
那么大家的问题是，亚度族人，他们既然知道 Krishna 是至尊主，那他们就怎么会相信是 Krishna 偷走了宝石，杀死了 Krishna 呢？
Well, not everyone in Dwarka would be the Yadu dynasty. There would be other people.
并不是多尔卡的每一个居民都是亚度族人，还有其他的人。
But there's also the potency, the Lila Shakti, Maya potency, that sometimes it covers Krishna, just like Arjuna was bewildered on the battlefield of Kurukshetra.
有一种能量叫 Lila Shakti， 就是玛雅 Shakti， 它就覆盖了人们，就像在库之野战场上，Arjuna 被覆盖了。
So, for the purpose of the pastime, it happens sometimes like this, that the devotees, like the Yadu dynasty, that they may become a little covered and they're subject to the rumor. People, the Satrajas going around telling everybody, you see, my brother's gone and they took the jewel, he hasn't come back. And Krishna wanted it, he wanted me to give it to him. And now my brother's gone and the jewel's also missing. So I think Krishna's responsible.
那么所以就是为了消时光的目的呢，那么亚度族人虽然他们是奉献者，但是他们也被这个流言蜚语所蒙蔽了。Satrajit 呢就到处散布说，我的弟弟呢他带着这个宝石他走了，然后呢以前呢 Krishna 曾经管我要这个宝石，但是现在呢我弟弟人也不见了，然后那个宝石也不见了 ，Krishna 一定要为这件事负责。
Okay. Yes. Do you have any more questions in the chat there, Guru Mani?
Yes, here is the Vaishnavi Vani.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. By the fighting service of Javavan, Lord Krishna was very pleased. My question is, it does all the service. My question is, does all the service like cooking, learning a language for preaching, reading Bhagavad Gita, chanting, etc. Please, Lord Krishna, in the same way, I understand that chanting 16 rounds is the most important service. Is that hearing and chanting have more purifying effect on us than other services?
Definitely. Oh, 中文。
这个翻译一下，这个问题是，就是 Guru Maharaj， 所有荣耀归于圣帕帕德。 通过战斗 Jambavan 呢就取悦了主 Krishna。我的问题是，比如像烹饪、学习，为了传播学习一门新语言，读国家梵歌、念诵，这些是不是能够以同样的方式能够取悦主 Krishna 呢？我明白念诵16圈是最重要的服务，那么聆听和唱诵是不是比其他的服务更能对我们产生净化效应呢？
Oh, definitely. Hearing and chanting are more powerful than other types of service. Just like you mentioned things like learning a language.
肯定的，像聆听、唱诵是更有力量的服务，就比起你说的，就学习一门新语言是更有力量的服务。
Sometimes, of course, your motive is to serve Krishna, but still, what is really important is our hearing and our chanting.
你的动机当然是您是为了服务 Krishna 去学这个语言，但是更重要的是聆听和念诵。
These other services, you have to see if you can use them to please Krishna.
其他的服务您必须衡量斟酌，是不是能用来服务 Krishna 取悦 Krishna。
Just like learning a language, it can take a long time to learn a language before you can actually use it in Krishna's service.
比如说像学习一门新语言，它需要很长的时间，就是在你能够真正把它利用起来做服务之前呢，你是要花费很长的时间。
But some devotees like they distribute books, they learn a few lines, they learn some words, and they're able to use these few words in foreign languages to distribute books.
但是有一些派出的奉献者呢，他们可以学习只言片语的几个词儿、几个外语词汇和几句话，用上在派书的时候派上用场。
Yeah, there's one devotee here from Ukraine, and he used to distribute books in Taiwan, so he can speak a little bit Chinese.
有一位乌克兰的奉献者，他以前在台湾派书的时候呢，他就会说几句简单的中文。
So, I mean, it's not really, it's not actually devotional service, but distributing the book is devotional service.
所以学语言呢，并不是真正的奉献服务，但是派书是奉献服务。
Krishna is pleased. You're giving the books. People are learning about Krishna. They're getting knowledge. So that's good. That's pleasing to Krishna.
Krishna 也会感到满意的，因为您在派书派发 Krishna 的知识，所以也是好的。
Just to learn language, that's not very important.
掌握一门语言并不十分重要。
But sometimes it helps to distribute the book.
有的时候在派书的时候呢，它是有用的。
Does Rajendra have another question, or was that the hand raised from before?
还有 question 吗 ？One more question. 昆提 David 向 Krishna 祈祷说，当忠诚奉献者遇到危险的时候，他向 Krishna 呼救。泡泡说，下面说，忠诚奉献者还不向 Krishna 祈求帮助，所以是当奉献者遇到危险的时候，是向 Krishna 求救好呢，还是不向 Krishna 求救好？这是第一个问题。第二个问题，如果求救的话，这个表现方式是什么？只是在那喊救命啊，救命啊，还是献祷文，还是只唱哈利路亚妈妈说 ？Thank you, 妈妈。
Did you get it all? Is that?
Yeah, yes,
Oh.
yes. So, my questions, Reverend Purple's question is that in the Queen Quinty's prayer, it is said that a faithful devotee in a dangerous situation will call help to Krishna. But in the purport, Srila Prabhupada said that a faithful devotee will not even ask help from Krishna. So my question is that whether or not we should ask help for Krishna, and in which way should we ask help? Should we simply chant Hare Krishna, or ask or offering prayers, or simply say that help me, save me?
Well, what we have to consider what is actually pure devotional service.
那我们就要考虑什么是真正的纯粹的奉献服务。
So the acharyas tell us that if you are in a very life-threatening situation and you call out to Krishna for help, it's not against pure devotional service.
Acharya 们指出，当一个人处在生命受到严重威胁的状态之下，他们祈求 Krishna 的帮助，这并不违背纯粹奉爱服务的原则。
But if every day or all the time, regularly we're calling out to Krishna, help me, save me, then that's not pure devotional service.
但是如果每一天我们总是定期的向 Krishna 寻求帮助，请求 Krishna 说快帮我，帮帮我，这个不是纯粹的奉献服务。
We have to consider the situation. Is it really life-threatening? Is it very, are we very close to death, very dangerous? Or was it just something, oh, we just need help, we need Krishna's help, we want Krishna's help?
所以我们就得看我们的处境是不是真的生命垂危了，已经死到临头了，还是说我们只是在那里这个简单的说 Krishna 快帮我帮我，就养习惯了，变成口头禅了。
We see Prahlad Maharaj was in a lot of danger from his father. He never called out to Krishna, but he was always remembering Krishna.
我们看到布拉的马拉，他总受到他父亲的这个死亡的威胁，但是他并没有求助，他只是恒常的意念 Krishna。
And because he was always remembering Krishna, no harm could come to him.
因为他恒常意念 Krishna， 所以没有任何事情能危害到他。
Now, Draupadi called out to Krishna to save her, and she's glorified for that.
卓帕蒂他在危险的状态之下呢，他呼求 Krishna 的帮助，但是他甚至为此而受到了荣耀。
Of course, it was a very unique situation. It wasn't something which happened every day.
当然，他那个时候是那种情况，真的是独一无二的，史无前例的，那可不是天天发生的。
So we can call out to Krishna if we're really in a very unusual situation, then it's all right. It's still in the realm of pure devotional service.
所以，如果我们真的是处在一种不寻常的状态之下的时候，我们呼求帮助的话，这是无可厚非的。它也是属于纯粹奉献服务的范畴。
But don't use Krishna for our own sense gratification.
但是不要利用 Krishna 来满足我们自己的感官享乐。
We want to serve Krishna. We don't want to always be taking service from Krishna.
我们希望来服务 Krishna， 而不希望从 Krishna 那里 得到福。
Okay, so we will stop here tonight. Any other questions, Archana? Or is it Kanupriya? No questions? Okay. No more questions? Do you have any more, Guru Mani?
Yeah, I have a small question about association. For example, if we regularly have association, for example, on a certain day of the week, but when there is a festival, should we have should we continue to associate our in a regular way, or to change it to the day when the festival is held? 我问一个小问题，就是关于联谊，就是比如说我们定期联谊，但是如果遇到节日的时候呢，那我们就是该联谊再增加一个节日呢，还是说把这个联谊的日期就取消，然后换到一个节日的那天联谊呢？
So the fasting you should do on the actual day.
Yes. 好，那就是戒食是还是在真正的那天来戒食。
But the celebration, the feasting can be done when it's convenient for you.
然后庆祝的还有大餐，就是看哪天方便。
But you should, on your own, if you're just on your own, still you can observe the festival in your own little way, by fasting and by praying to the Lord.
但如果是在过节那天呢，就是一个人的话，那自己一个人也可以，以自己的方式来庆祝，来向主祈祷。
Okay.
Okay.
So, well, we thank Guru Mani and thank Archana and Kanupriya. Thank all the devotees for listening and for their questions. And we'll be back on Friday.
I have a question for Thank you.
Huh?
Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Archana. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai Guru Maharaj.
Go back to Vrinda ki.